Have you ever wondered how Star Wars movies would be ranked if we ranked them only by how well the Stormtroopers' aim is? Well, I have, so that is why I'm doing this video. Some of these Stormtroopers have worse aim than that guy that tried to kill Trump, and others, well, let's just say they got that JFK aim. Anyway, without further ado, let's just get started with last place, the almost last Jedi. Since the entirety of this movie is just a big ship following a smaller ship, these First Order Stormy boys only get one scene to prove themselves, and man, they blew their one opportunity. Too much of mom's spaghetti, I guess. The one opportunity I am referring to is the scene where Finn and Rose are about to get whacked, but then, well, you know. Boom. Anyway, after that, the Stormtroopers come rolling in, guns ablazing, and they somehow don't hit these two. Also, like, how the hell did they get over here? Like, they were just over here a few seconds. Not important for this video. What is important, though, is that I counted how many times they hit their target here, and it was like 8 times for a giant box. And the total shots fired were like around 350 to 400. That's like around 2% accuracy when aiming at a fairly big target. So in summary, these troops are like my golf game. The safest place to be is where I'm trying to hit. Next up is Empire counterstrikes. The boys in white were struggling during this movie. I mean, just try to remember a Stormy hitting a single shot during this movie. Can't remember? That is because they only hit one shot, and it's off screen on the golden boy. Now, it is both sad and pathetic that the only shot hit was a defenseless droid stunned at point blank range. But it is still better than The Last Jedi because the Stormies at least did some damage whatsoever. Like, even though their hit percentage was lower at 0.9% compared to The Last Jedi. And I'm just gonna say, these guys suck so far. The stereotype might be true. At 9 is the Rise of Palpatine, and I'm just gonna mention this real quick. The Phantom Menace is not gonna be on this list because, well, there's no Stormtroopers or Clone Troopers. And apparently, just because the Stormtroopers put on red armor for this movie, they still couldn't hit Hiroshima with a hydrogen bomb. This part right here is my personal favorite moment of a Stormtrooper aim masterclass. We got 2 homies in the complete wide open, no cover in sight, and they're out there for about 30 seconds, while about 9 to 10 supposedly highest trained First Order Sith troopers are all firing, and 0 shots are hit. I mean, just wow. It's not possible. But at the very least, it looks like the Red Boys did hit a few shots off screen. As you see, some unimportant background rebels are down, but with a little accuracy, they should all be dead because, like, they're in the wide open. But it wouldn't be a Disney movie without massive plot armor. We also can't forget about this scene. They fly now! Despite flying, they still hit no shots. But at least they have a few gimmies here. Like, this is point blank range. No way they miss.
I'm the spy.
I hate this movie. At 8 is Han Solo and friends, and the boys in white don't show up much at all. They show up in one scene, the train heist, and well, actually they technically show up here too, but we can't really see the enemy at all, so we can't really calculate the accuracy. They're just kind of shooting into fog or whatever. But on the train heist, they are not very accurate. But also at the same time, they're not terrible. Considering that they are firing a decently long distance on top of a high-speed train with mid-range blasters, their shots were getting very close. I know they didn't get any kills, but I mean, these are not easy shots like the last movies. But I really just can't put it any higher because at the end of the day, their hit accuracy was the same number as my bank account right now. 0%. En número 7 es una esperanza nueva. This may come as a shock considering the amount of memes about Stormy's aim in this movie. Like, it's everywhere that they can't aim, and it all came from this movie. And it was true. Their aim was god-awful in the Death Star. But people be forgetting about the opening scene. Like, the Stormtroopers here were deadly. They were taking out rebels like I take out the trash. Anyway, they're very accurate here with like a hit percentage of like, let's just say 20. But the Death Star is next, and well, let's just say it. There is a big divide of fans on if the Stormies are just suck or were trying to miss on purpose so they would be able to like track them back to their base, which worked great. But regardless, on the Death Star, they fired off at least more than 7 shots and hit a whopping 0. However, if they were trying to miss, this is actually very impressive and shows top tier marksmanship. But since we don't know the intentions for sure, we have to use a true hit percentage of 2.5%. It could low-key be in first, but at the end of the day, this list ain't that deep, and I'm just done with this movie. Next is The Force Awakens, and it is clear that the First Order troopers are about as useful as a woman driving. Actually, no, the Stormtroopers are worse, because at least women hit things when they drive. 6'5", by the way, ladies. Like A New Hope, the stories are most accurate at the start when they raid this village. It is a little cheap though, since most of these homies are defenseless, and since they pull a little genocide circle here and they weren't even moving or trying to run. But hey, a shot hit is a shot hit. It don't matter if it banks in. Don't worry though, the Stormies get back to their usual selves and put on a clinic. Hey, at least this boy hits some shots. We are improving. Like, we are at like 2%. Never mind, we aren't improving actually. We're getting there though. Number 5 is a Clone Wars movie, and I'm just going to count clones as stormtroopers. Cause I mean, like, they're both white, so they both right. Oh no, that sounds wrong. Long story short though, I haven't seen this movie in a while, and I am just going to assume that the clones were fairly accurate. So I just put this at 5 because, well, I don't know. Next, we got the Rogue One, and man, I would marry one of these troopers, no homo. They are just so sexy and accurate, 99% accuracy to be exact. First, some troops were just mowing down some Guerrera rebels, and you can't tell me Stormies can't aim after this beautiful clip right here. And I'm gonna stand by that even after they got whooped by a blind guy with a stick. These troops were also very accurate on Scarif, with like tons of kills on a fair, reasonable amount of shots. Also, these guys like had to hit K2 a lot of times for him to actually go down. And don't forget about the Death Troopers either. These guys were freaking lethal, man. Not quite as lethal as they are in Battlefront 4, but still absolute units. They had a whopping 25% accuracy rate. 25 is crazy, but unfortunately the stupid white guys brought this movie down to number 4. And now for number 3, it is going to be, oh, that rhymed. Sorry. Return of the Jedi. The troops were so accurate in this movie, they even hit Leia, a plot armor character. This never happens. But these crackers did it. They didn't kill her, but they at least hit her and injured her. They did, however, get demolished by some carnivorous teddy bears only moments later, though. Too bad. Anyway, I am just going to make this quick. Stormtroopers had a hit rate of 9.1%, which is lower than Rogue One, but this trooper hitting Leia adds like 1% in my books. So yeah, let's just put it higher. Man, this list is falling apart. Let's just finish up quickly. And number 2 is Attack of the Clones. And to no one's surprise, clones are at the top of this list. Who knew the expensive genetically modified troopers with lifelong training would be the best? Now, unfortunately, I am not able to get a percentage since, well, just watch this. I ain't counting all those, but I mean, just watching through the whole battle of Geonosis, droids are getting mowed down at a very high rate. Honestly, the whole Clone Wars really just was a battle of quality versus quantity. So like, the clones had plenty of targets, but you put a Stormy out here, and there is no way they are getting this efficiency. God, what was I saying? Who cares? Number 1 is obviously John Wilkes Booth. Oh, typo, my bad, guys. Revenge of the Sith. I think I only need one clip here to prove my point.